like, if I did not have the NHS, I would not have had the care that I did to heal my leg when I shattered it. So it's like, I am here because I had the NHS, but I am able to progress because I'm not hindered by it, if that makes sense. It should be the perfect system. It should be subsidized. Everything should be subsidized. Trans healthcare should be subsidized. Everything. When I was 8 years old, I shattered it. I had what's called a unicameral cyst in my left femur, which is like a hole basically develops when I was 7 years old between the growth plates in the bone, and the hole stretched so that the bone around it was basically eggshell thin. And on my 8th birthday, I was on the phone with someone, and I was told by the doctors, don't put any weight on it. So in my mind, that was like, okay, don't tread on it at all. So I was hopping around, and obviously when you're hopping, you can't keep your balance at 8 years old on my birthday. So I was hopping. All I did was fall over, literally just fall, and my whole hip shattered like an egg. Like I'd fallen on an egg. That was the state of my leg. And it took 16 weeks, I think, in 14 weeks maybe, in a full leg cast. I don't remember anything much about it because I was in so much pain. My grandmother, who was living with us at the time, said she did hear a crack. And she wasn't even in the room. She heard a crack and a scream. I don't remember anything until she picked me up and put me on the sofa. And then it was very spotty. I remember the doctor coming in from the surgery to visit me very specifically on a massive emergency. And there wasn't an ambulance free, so my mum had to put me in the back of her minivan to drive me to the hospital. And then I don't remember much at all. I remember being very sorry, apologizing over again for ruining the holiday we were just about to take. And I remember waking up a few hours later, having been operated on initially. I don't remember them talking about my x-rays. And then the next day, I remember having a birthday party in the ward with a cake that had a little marzipan dog on it. Yeah, and that was how I spent my 8th birthday and a lot of the following year. It was a lot. And then I spent 8 years going in and out of outpatient surgery to fix it. I was finally officially discharged at 16. But it still causes me problems every now and again, obviously, because, you can't shatter a bone and kind of get away with it, Where am I going? And, in a very weird way, despite how horrible it was very formative in me for understanding. It shaped the rest of my life. There was no way that it couldn't have done, because I learned about what it was meant to be excluded, to not have people around you who cared, to be ignored, to go through the people who go through having disabilities and what they get excluded from passively and actively, and how you just learn to see things differently. You engage in different things because you can't do sports, you can't do heavy games, you can't. People in primary school, they were I wasn't there for weeks, and they moved on. They didn't want to. I wasn't friends with them anymore because they moved on. The first thing they said to me when I came back is "Hey, we have a new friend. He's just like you." What are you supposed to say to that? I tried to be friends with him. I just couldn't, because he could do all the things that I couldn't do. So, yeah. But yeah, then I spent a good few years by myself, kind of on the playground, because I couldn't really do anything. and when the friends that I did eventually make moved to a different school, so I had to try and make friends with people from other people that I didn't really know very well, and that didn't go well for other reasons, which I think I've been into. Ooh! Which I think I've been into, but oh, it's you. Hello. But yeah, and that shaped a lot of my creativity. It shaped a lot of my I was given a Super Nintendo with Super Mario World on it, and I played that to destruction. The very first night I played it so long, I vomited from motion sickness because it was literally the only thing I could do.
Preparations are not complete.
Yeah.
Continue exploring the island until then.
Okay. So that's where my love of Nintendo and video games came from. And that's the story of my childhood. That was a lot of my childhood. That's why I am who I am. Essentially, is because of that. I was just up there. Oh, fuck off. Jeez.